Good afternoon, I'm Vashan Brown with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on OneSpotMedia.com. A reminder as well that you can watch TVJ live by downloading our OneSpot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot Media. There are reports that noxious fumes are again affecting nurses at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James after corrective measures were put in place by the Ministry of Health. President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, NAJ, Carmen Johnson, says nurses have been complaining about an increase in the fumes for the past 2 weeks. She says the fumes are reportedly affecting the 6th, 7th and 8th floors of the building. She says the situation is made worse when nurses have to work for long hours.
Increase in the fumes and the other noxious substances that are emanating from the buildings where they work. And what has happened, they had moved off one floor last week, but the other floors, including the nursing, are experiencing increase in the symptoms for the nurses. And so for the last 2 weeks, nurses have been going off ill for 3 days, 5 days or more, and the numbers have increased. The nurses are now frustrated and complaining that they don't think they can any longer cope.
She says the situation is made worse when nurses have to work for long hours. Detectives from the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch are continuing their questioning of the 18-year-old Wilmers Boys school student who was detained yesterday after he published a voice note on social media suggesting he would conduct mass killings. He was released into the custody of his parents yesterday. The police have declared that the teenager did not have the capacity to carry out the threat. It's been over 170 days since the Zone of Special Operations was implemented in Mount Salem, St. James, and residents are now hearing of solid social intervention programs which are slated to be rolled out in their community this week. The details from TVJ's Lana Gay Franklin.
At a community meeting on Sunday, residents heard from various stakeholders and signed up to be part of the rebuilding process. Phase 1 of the roadworks is to commence this week.
So 5 roads have now been identified, coming from Barnett View straight up to Picard Street, going back around to to Crawford Street and on the main road of Mount Salem. This work is set to start the beginning of this week. So the community, persons from the community will be gainfully employed. The first set of persons who will be getting that chance is the persons who have been doing the tiling and the block laying, and then we will go on from there.
And Managing Director of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, Omar Sweeney, spoke of the utilities regularization issues as being a major part of the program.
So you may have heard a report from NWC. So far they have regularized more than 150 households in the community, and JPS has similar targets. But what will happen is that after the roadworks are improved, then the JPS infrastructure will come in to follow. And we do that specifically to ensure that we don't end up with light poles in the middle of the road and that sort of thing.
In the meantime, an additional 21 parents from ZOSO have also signed up for the effective parenting training to begin later this month. This is in addition to the 40 persons who reached out for help in becoming better parents. Lana Gay Franklin, TVJ News.
The Portland police have joined the call for neighborhood watch groups to assist in keeping migrating criminals out of communities. Speaking at a recent Community Safety and Security Branch meeting held in the Prospect community in the parish, Assistant Superintendent of Police Troyville Horton highlighted that a formal and structural system will yield positive results.
Criminals know say, listen up, even if you get through to go into Portland, don't follow them across. Because one, you're not seeing over one night most money for the police. Then if you do that, we police the people them through their minds. And it's not just for us who wear these uniforms and them uniforms there. It's for all of us. And that's why at the beginning of the presentation I said, listen up, help us, the police. And let us help you to police your community. Because primarily, it's your responsibility.
That ridding the parish of criminals is the main objective, but issued this message to residents.
Safe community is not about criminals only. It's about us going back to the stage where we care about each other. It's about getting back to the stage where we love one another. Whether male or female or whoever. It's getting back to the stage where we ensure that our neighbors' children get on the streets in a particular time because it's not safe or it's not encouraged.
One of Jamaica's oldest churches was this morning destroyed by fire. The 180-year-old Methodist church located in St. Anne's Bay was gutted by fire, leaving the main sanctuary completely burnt out. According to reports, or according to persons on the scene, the fire started about 1:30 in front of the section of the building and quickly spread. Members of the church community who gathered expressed shock and sadness at the loss.
I got a call at 2:30, 2:25 to be exact, to say that the church was on fire. And when I came here this morning, I had no idea that this is the type of destruction I would have seen. The entire church is gone. One significant thing though is that the church windows were made with crosses and all the crosses were left.
Another member of the church lamented that the church lost the 107-year-old pipe organ. The cause of the fire is still not known. More multi-billion-dollar losses are in the forecast for the National Road Operating and Constructing Company, NROC, which is responsible for implementing the Highway 2000 project. A public bodies report presented by the finance minister shows that NROC will rack up a $5.7 billion deficit during the financial year 2018-2019. This is a slight reduction from the $6 billion deficit expected during the current financial year, which ends on March 31. NROC, which has over the years incurred billion-dollar deficits, is responsible for constructing and maintaining highways in Jamaica. The Police Federation has again turned its back on the government's wage offer. Like other unions, the government has offered a 16% increase over 4 years. The Federation says it will be sending its counter-proposal to the Finance Ministry this week following the conclusion of its consultation and analysis of the 4-year wage contract offer from the government. In a message to its members yesterday, the executive of the Federation said the proposal was extremely disappointing. In its proposal to the rank-and-file members of the force, the government has offered payment for holidays for 2017 and 2018 and a slight increase on added hours. There is also a proposal for a slight increase on existing non-monetary items. But the Police Federation says no increase on existing allowances and new allowances were entertained based on the current wage policy of the government. And in related news, a major row has developed in the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, following its decision to sign a 4-year public sector wage deal and accusations that it has not acted in the best interest of government-paid workers. The University and Allied Workers Union, UAWU, has confirmed a report carried by our news center that it has temporarily withdrawn from the Confederation. This follows an emergency meeting yesterday with officials of the JCTU to discuss the union's concerns about the signing of the wage deal on February 13. The union has accused the Confederation of signing prematurely. First Vice President of the UAWU, Clifton Grant, told the TVJ News that the wage agreement is inadequate.
5% year 1, 2% year 2, 4% year 3, and 5% year 4. When you look at the benefits inside the agreement, there's very minuscule adjustment to any benefit, and we think if we're going to extend the workers' contract for a longer period, there's something must be in there for the workers. And the UAW feel very, very strong that the Confed did not take into account especially the persons at the bottom of the salary scale. What this increase is going to mean that persons are going to get less than $600 per week adjustment. The last time when we negotiate, we ensure that we set a floor in terms of increase to the workers of $1,000.
President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, Helene Davis White, last weekend dismissed claims that it signed the wage agreement with the government while ignoring its members' concerns. The Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, has received an allocation of $270 million in the 2018-2019 estimates of expenditure. The program seeks to enhance security and justice in targeted communities through gender response justice services. For the new fiscal year, the Victim Services Division is planning to identify and retrofit areas to accommodate victim services, provide emergency assistance grants to 50 beneficiaries, assist 110 children exposed to violence and trauma with counseling interventions, and facilitate special therapy sessions with 30 sexually abused children. The program is also expected to train 65 court officials, police officers, and other first responders. The National Water Commission NWSC CEO Mark Barnett says the issue of water stealing continues to plague the company and it's costing them millions. The Commission boss notes that the NWSC receives little to no income from communities with a high consumption rate, which is affecting their finances significantly. Mr. Barnett adds that the Commission has tried a number of interventions to help persons to understand the consequence of not paying their water usage.
In our situation, there are those communities that by virtue of their attitudes have no interest in conserving water. They have no interest in reducing the leak. So you'll have a toilet, which is one of the devices that resulted in high water usage or high water wastage, and it will be there running for days.
He says the current method where the NWSC turns off the water at a certain time is not the ideal method for water supplying organizations. He, however, pointed out that the approach of water lock-off helps to save water, but it increases the risk of having leakage in the pipelines.
If persons naturally reduce their consumption, then it would allow for a much better operation of your distribution network. Every time we shut down a system to start it again, the ability of developing leaks increase. And so that is not good in a situation where you're water short.
And time now for sports. Humber Lions' 1-0 win over Harborview in the Red Stripe Premier League on Sunday not only gave them 3 valuable points, but condemned Boys Town to life outside of the Premiership next season. TVJ's Karen Madden has more.
This is the goal that sent the Red Brigades packing from the Premiership, with Craig Foster, the former arena marksman, scoring a crucial stoppage time goal for Humber Lion. With the win, Humber Lion moved to 33 points and safety from the drop, leaving Boys Town firmly at the bottom of the table on 17 points. Harborview are 6th on 36 points.
Valuable, everybody trying to grab as much points as they can. We are trying to aim for the top 6 and to come to Harborview and get a winner in the last. With a tough game, could have gone both ways. But hats off to the guys. They showed character. They worked very hard today, and it's a very big 3 points for us today.
Boys Town's hopes were left hanging by a thread after their 2-0 defeat by Portmore United through goals from Jeremy Lynch and Rashane Sharp. And the news of Harborview's defeat would certainly break hearts around Rema. And Sandals appear destined to be another team who spent only a season in the nation's top flight when they were beaten 1-0 by Tivoli Gardens at Stets, courtesy of a cheeky goal by Junior McGregor. Tivoli moved a place to 3rd on 43 points and must feel their top 6 spot is all but assured.
Coming here to play against Sandals, we know that it will not be an easy task despite Sandals is in the relegation zone. We believe that we give it we all. We have managed to score a good goal from the corner spot, and we have defended stoutly right throughout the game. In the latter part of the game, we have created some easy opportunity, which we have failed to capitalize on. Hence, the results remain as it is. We are pretty satisfied with the 3 points, and we are pleasing for it.
While Sandals are just a defeat away from packing their bags. Elsewhere on Sunday, Cavalier were held to a 1-1 draw by visitors Waterhouse at Stadium East. The Jewslanders took the lead in the 41st minute through Alan Otti from the penalty spot, his first goal for the club. But Siobhan Marsh responded in the 74th minute to earn his team a point.
Oh, definitely. I thought we played exceptionally well. I thought that the team moved the ball around very well, got a couple of opportunities. I thought we also dominated possession, but at the end of the day, goals win match.
What is important for us is not to look at what is behind us now. We have 2 games in hand. We still are competing. I think the league is well defined.
However, Cavalier had a scare when Gadale Irving was knocked unconscious and taken to hospital. TVJ Sports understands that he was released early this morning and is recuperating at home. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Vashon Brown. Join us at 7 for Primetime News Package. On behalf of the News, Sports and Production teams, have a good afternoon.